Welcome everyone to Jasper High School Gymnasium. My name is Bob Welp. Sitting to the left of me is Jason Stom, Jeremy Marcos on the video. Tonight, the Jasper Wildcats bring in an 8-game winning streak with an overall record of 11-2, 3-1, and first place in the Big 8 Conference. They will face the boys on the hill, the Northeast Dubois Jeeps. The Jeeps also come in with a 5-game winning streak, and they're 11-4, sitting second at 3-1 in the Blue Chip Conference. Jason, fundamentally sound is what I've been, has the Jasper team's been described to me. In order for Dubois, I believe, to be successful against Jasper, they've really got to keep their turnovers down. They've got to limit Jasper to 2 or 3 shots. Keys for Jasper tonight.
Well, I think, Bob, that, Jasper's been having a very outstanding year on the defensive end. I think I heard Coach Gable on the radio today, and I think he said they're averaging giving up like 45 points a game or something like that. If Jasper can do that again tonight, obviously I think they've got a very good chance to win. They've done a pretty decent job of taking care of the basketball throughout the course of the year. I've coached basketball for quite a while, and I've always been a defensive-oriented guy too, and in my opinion, defense wins your basketball games. Tonight that's what's going to have to happen for Jasper to come out on the good end of this. So we'll just have to see how it plays out. I mean, they got to get after it. Dubois is going to come out, and try to put it to us, and then we'll just have to see how things work out.
You're right. Dubois is going to try to put it to them, but with the Northeast Dubois Jeeps, now these senior class, this was my first class that I started coaching in the 7th grade, and I know that you're really in tune with some of these Jasper players. But when they bring the ball down, Jasper's going to give them a punch. They can't wobble. They're going to have to stay up, and this is really going to be interesting. You got Reese Bauer for Northeast Dubois sitting on 1,145 points. He needs 6 points to become the all-time leading scorer up there. So it looks like the referees are ready to throw the orange in the air, and we'll get this thing going.
We're ready to go. Whoop.
Lane Kinney's getting a little excited there.
This is a good basketball game. It's a good county rivalry, and this is what's good for high school basketball.
Oh, absolutely.
You got a nice crowd here tonight. With being homecoming plus being a county rivalry.
Well, that's just what we were talking about right there, where they cannot allow Jasper to, even though they've got some good size, to get 2 and 3 shots. It'd be a long night for the team in blue.
And that's what, Quentin Harmon did a very good job the other night over at Forest Park. I think they had him down for like 16 rebounds. He was the biggest guy on the floor like he is again tonight. And, he's got to make sure he takes advantage of that. And he did a good job with it the other night. So, you were talking about you coaching some of these guys. I'm pretty familiar also with these 3 seniors that are on Dubois' team. With Reese Bauer, I coached him in basketball or in baseball for a while. There's Ziegler for 3. Like I said, I've coached Ziegler and Bauer and showed a little bit in baseball. So it's fun to play against guys like that you've coached against and you've seen play and that type of thing. So it'll be a good interesting ball game tonight.
Yeah, I really think that the control, and even though Bauer gets a lot of the press for the team in blue, I mean, Ethan Ziegler, as he has shown on that first one, you just can't leave him alone.
Right. And like you said, you run into that a lot, where you got teams that have a high score or a go-to guy, and teams try to take that away from them. There's Harmon with a block. But, you try to take that leading scorer and keep his points down. Well, then that usually opens it up for somebody else to step up. And, and that's going to be a key for Dubois tonight too, because, obviously they're keying on Bauer. And then, it's going to leave some of these other guys with the opportunity to score. So,
yeah, it's almost like the injury, next man up.
That's right. It is
when they take one away. So
it is, and that's exactly what you have to be able to do.
And that's the other thing right there. The Jeeps cannot afford to be 2-3 feet from the bucket and let them roll off the rim, because that right there.
And that's, and it's ironic that you say that, Bob, because that's kind of been Jasper's problem throughout the course of some of their games. Is, they've won some games, but they've shot the ball horribly, and it wasn't just the 3-point shooting. It was 4 or 5 2-footers, that they weren't hitting, and so it's obviously from the way it looks tonight, the start of this game is Jasper's going to concentrate on getting the ball inside to Harmon. He does have a size advantage in there, so I think they're going to look to do that some. So Jasper's they're picking up token full court press, but it's not really a press. They're just kind of picking them up.
Well, and I understand why they want to do that in order to, kind of break any rhythm that they may have. Nice drive by Ty Riker there for Northeast Dubois.
And it's kind of it's a thing to more or less slow the opponent down. It's not really to try to force turnovers. It's more so to just keep them from out of transition and getting the ball down the floor.
It's one thing I've noticed about Northeast Dubois this year. As a team, they're either extremely hot from the charity stripe or they can't buy it.
And that Craig and I talk about that a lot, with you're dealing with high school 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old kids, and that's you run into that.
Nice pick.
And, I think, we've touched on it a little bit. A lot of the game's going to come down to who can take care of the basketball and have the fewest turnovers. That's obviously in basketball, that's a big thing is to not turn the ball over. So you just have to take care of it and play good defense and see what happens. So.
Well, Bauer's got to sink this one. 0 for 2. Berger doing a nice job on the inside.
Berger does a nice job inside for his size. I mean, Caleb is there was an article I believe in the Herald about him here this week, and it talked about how he's 5'8", but he plays a lot bigger than what he actually is, and it's true because he's just he hustles, he works his butt off, and can really get in there and get after things, and does a good job.
Nick Lincoln on a beautiful drive in, getting into Harmon's body.
I'm not sure where he was throwing that pass. Looked like the guy in the band in the first row was wide open, so I think he got it to him.
That's one of the interesting things as being a coach when you see things like that happen. And it's so hard for me to remember actually when I was in high school, because it was like way back when. Nice drive. But we just look at them and saying, where were you possibly going? Getting a little sloppy there at midcourt.
Well, just like that right there, that was a dumb pass. Stom tried to make a pass to Hope, who that's not who you want to throw the ball to when you're trying to run transition. You need to get it to Berger or Kabrick or take it down yourself. You don't turn around and throw it to one of your big men at midcourt. So, I mean, right now both teams are pretty sloppy with the ball. I mean, it's not been a very well played first quarter.
No, it's very important for Northeast Dubois that when they do get turnovers against Jasper, that they make Jasper pay. If they give it right back to them, it's just terrible.
And again, like I said, they're concentrating on getting the ball inside, and there again they got it into Harmon. He got his shot blocked, but he had a good shot, good look at the basket. So
well, and more often than not, when you're on the home court, that you'll get that call.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be willing to.
Kabrick.
So that's been a microcosm of our season right there. We miss a lot of wide open shots. Craig and I were talking about it, I believe, over at Forest Park, that if we start ever hitting those, the law of averages says we might not ever miss one again, which I know is not possible. But there was Ziegler on a nice drive to the bucket. So, you know, like I said,
Strength.
You know, and that's a good drive. You know, you got to get in there and you got to be able to take the contact and finish through the play, and that's what they were able to do right there.
Well, the one thing about Jasper is all the players out there have pretty good wide shoulders. They got nice chests on them, so like you said, they can absorb that. But that right there, when they're coming off those curls, they've got to get up a little bit tighter into their bodies. Good rebound. Caber cannot finish inside.
You know, again, we missed a 5-6 footer. You know, and that, like I said, that's just kind of the way the things have went for us this year, and we've got to learn to be able to finish those. Reese Day's in for Jasper for Caleb Berger here. I'll let you take care of the Dubois substitutions because you know them more than I do.
Yeah, we'll do that. Nice drive. Can't reach like that, though. These young fellas got to know how to keep the hands up.
Well, you know, and I coach a 6th grade basketball team here at Jasper, and, you know, we worked on that the other night at practice about how you got to take that extra step and move over there and get in front of that guy instead of reaching. So Jace Goodhue's in the game for Harmon to get a little break here.
Well, Terry Freeman's brought in Colby Piper off the bench. Colby runs around 6'2". You know, he's a little light right now in the britches, but that will come. He's a sophomore. He's got good athletic ability. He's a pretty good high riser. So, you know, you really don't want to see him get out on the break.
Jasper, you know, here they go small. When they lose Harmon out of the game like this, they're small out there now. I mean, you probably got Hof as, you know, your tallest at 6'2", 6'3", whatever he is, you know, and that's what when Goodhue comes in, that's kind of what happens. So,
well, there's one that just noticed Logan Maringer into the game, and just
like that, you know, Jasper did that the other night over at Forest Park. Forest Park would score and Jasper would get the ball down the floor. They basically beat them down the floor, and they were able to get down and score just like they did right there. And you know, they gotta do a little bit better job of Dubois does on getting back.
Well, you know, I've been concentrating, Jason, so hard on these stats on who scores and who does this and who does. Craig's got a pretty good eye for that stuff. But being a color guy most of the time on the gridiron, it's
Well, I'm glad you took that over tonight because we talked before we went on air about how I try to keep stats, and I didn't write anything down tonight. I lost track before I got started. I mean, I'm just a fan. I just like to watch. You know, I'm not a big, you know, I don't really care about the stats. You know, I mean, I can tell how you play by watching the game.
Absolutely.
You know, I don't need to know that we had 15 turnovers. I can tell by the course of the game that, you know, we're not playing very well tonight. Doesn't matter whether we have 10 or 15. It's just not good.
You know, I've always explained to Northeast Dubois, and usually they have a high turnover average when they play Jasper because of Jasper's quickness. But I've always told them, you get a stop after a turnover, you've lost nothing. Mm-hmm. So, you know, you must get your rear end back on defense, which is what they did not do a while ago, and Cabrick was able to just kind of drop in an easy one.
Yeah, and that's, you know, they're you know, Harmon's back in here, you know, and they went right to him again. So, I you know, there's no doubt that that's what they're looking to do tonight is to get the ball inside to Quentin and let him try to score.
Well, with him standing at 6'6", he does a really nice job of getting low and using his hips to clean out. And there he is.
That's Reese Day on the steal there. And he can go to the free throw line here to shoot 2 now. Reese is Reese is one of those interesting players. You know, he persevered. You know, he wasn't ever a starter on all the way up through the system, and he just hung around, you know, and here he is, a senior. He's getting to play. He's getting some good quality minutes in certain games, you know, and does a good job when he gets in there.
You know, just looking at Jasper's roster, second one up, and beautiful. They've got 7 guys that are in double-minute averages.
Yeah.
You know, that's pretty gosh darn good.
And that's the thing with Jasper, you know, and Coach Gable's done a very good job of that this year because he understands the role that these guys play in this. And, you know, there's another unforced, well, I wouldn't say it was unforced, but it was another turnover by Dubois. You know, and like you said, those are the ones that Jasper comes down now and scores, you know, those hurt because you had an opportunity to get within 1 or tie it up, and now you can go down 6 or you can go down 5.
But when you're playing against Jasper, these young men have to understand when you try to squeeze into their body to get yourself a little bit of space, it's difficult. There's a lot of strength out there.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Reese is a good shooter. Yep. You leave Reese open like he was right there, and he's going to knock him down.
Well, I don't know so much. I mean, they left him open, no doubt, but the ball reversal was so nice by Jasper. There was no way you could get back.
And that's you're exactly right, Bob. I mean, that's what got him the shot was the ball reversal. They did a good job of moving the basketball, and that's what it takes. Right here, they're playing a man-to-man, but they're keying off of Reese, you know, trying to keep him from, you know, getting that last second shot off.
All right, we have come to the end of the first quarter. Jasper leads the Jeeps 17-11 here at Jasper High School. We will take a break here, and you're watching Cat Basketball on WJTS. Welcome back to Jasper High School Gymnasium. Kanice just inbounds the ball to Lincoln. Coming up, looks like Jasper's going to be in a man-to-man. Riker at the top. Swings the ball left. Lincoln on the 3. Dips down. They are just all over Bauer on the inside.
Yeah, that, you know, like we were talking at the break, Bob. There's Cabrick, you know, and there's where Cabrick's at his best is attacking the basket. When he does that, he's a handful. There's no doubt. But you know, we were talking at the break. You know, when Reese does touch the ball, you know, Jasper's obviously playing straight up man to man with him, but they're also, you know, out there, all the other 4 guys are willing to help off on him and, you know, make it tough for him to score.
Well, it's really no surprise to me that they've got your boy guarding him. I mean, he's coming in with almost 3 steals a game, and that right there tells you that he knows he's got a good nose for that ball.
Well, Carter, you know, as we've been going up through the ranks, you know, I've told him, I said, if you play good defense, coaches will find a spot for you to play, and that's kind of what, you know, this year's evolved in. You know, we found out that, you know, he was going to be able to guard Reese, and I told him, I said, you know, him and Reese have been friends for a long time. I said, you just go out and play the best you can. You know, Reese is going to get his points. You just do what you can. And, you know, he's guarded he guarded Christian Lander from Wrights, and, you know, he's guarded usually the best player on the other team. And I said, you just got to work hard. And I from the standpoint of being able to guard these guys without staying in foul trouble or getting in foul trouble is a big thing, because when you're guarding that best player, sometimes that's tough to do.
Well, it really is, but when I watch him play defense, he does a real nice job of keeping his head on a swivel, you know, so he can see the ball and see his man at the same time.
Yeah, and he, you know, he's long, you know, he's got a long wingspan. I don't like that shot. I think that was forced too quick. I would have liked to have seen him pull that one back out.
Well, it looks like they're letting him play a little physical.
They're letting him play a little bit. There's no doubt.
Well, that's advantage black and gold right there.
Oh, yeah, it probably is. And, I mean, he traveled.
I was waiting for that whistle to come, but took him a little bit to get that up in his mouth so he could get that tweet out.
Yeah, he couldn't. He had to take a breath so he'd have some air to blow. Elliot Hope's getting ready to check back in for Jasper, so if he gets in for Goodhue, Jasper will be back with their starting lineup.
Well, if you watch what Northeast Dubois doing when they're trying to run this high screen, when they're making contact with the Jasper players, they're not tight enough and do not have a strong enough base to keep their pick, and Jasper's just rolling right through it.
Yeah.
and that's why you have to settle with a shot like that. Although Knies can hit him from the outside, you really want to work hard and hold your screen. Look at that.
They're going to call it on Goodhue over the back.
Well, I think that Bauer did a nice job. Referees have always said that if you go straight up, over the back's not a foul, on the back is a foul, as we know.
Right.
But even if you're the taller person and you're going up, if you're trying on defense to get a rebound and you don't get your butt into them,
oh, there's no doubt.
They won't call it.
There's no doubt.
And that was a nice job right there by Bauer. Oh, late whistle. Late whistle. And that's one of my issues with the stripes. You had the official on the far side make the call when the guy looking straight at it.
Straight at him, didn't make it.
Yeah, I just don't understand that.
Yep. And you see it happen a lot, and that guy thinks he sees something that he probably didn't. But, and that's Dom's second foul. Now he'll sit down for the rest of the half. So, and that's what you run into when you're trying to guard, the best player. Sometimes you get into that position and now they have to make some defensive adjustments. They put Isaac Day in, and Isaac's been a big surprise for Jasper. He's a sophomore. He's a strong player.
Cabrick got up on that one, didn't he?
Cabrick's been waiting all year for that. They've been working. They work on that in practice every night, I think. So.
All right, well, that forces Terry Friedman, Northeast Dubois Jeeps to call timeout. You're watching Jasper basketball on WJTS. All right, welcome back. And looks like Jasper's going to take a 10-point lead with 5 minutes to go here in the until halftime. And Jason, from what I've seen, plain and simple, Jasper's been more physical. The referees are letting it be a physical game. And they're getting out and running and picking and choosing a beautiful job.
And they are. They're doing a good job of getting the ball down the floor. As of right now, Jasper's done a good job of getting Reese out of the offense a little bit. But that's a second three-pointer that Ziegler's hit, and for them to stay in the game, I mean, that's what it's going to take because he gets open on that little ball screen, and that he's you got to be able to step up there and knock that down. So.
Well, you got Ziegler and you had Maringer hit one earlier. Lane Knies got one up, but it bounced off the rim, and he's very capable of it. But, yeah, they're getting into Reese's body. They're grabbing some jerseys. Referees don't call it. No harm, no foul. So, but Jasper, to me, there's Cabrick again.
That's a nice ball shot fake and dribble to the right and got an open look. And had the ability to knock it down. Dubois went to his own defense there a little bit, and Jasper struggled mightily against that because they haven't hit that outside shot. Now, I'm pretty sure that probably Coach Friedman's not going to be happy with that shot because it was a little bit soon and a little bit far out there.
Well, it's just going to be like Coach Gable not happy with that pass.
That's exactly right. Here you get a bad shot on the defensive end, and then you get the ball to go to offense, and then you make a dumb pass like that. And, that's what, it makes coaches pull their hair out.
Well, the one thing that I know that Coach Friedman's trying to do with Bauer is he likes to run him in the post, especially if they try to run a zone. But they're going to have to start setting 2 or 3 screens because look at that. As soon as he touches the ball, there's 3 guys.
Yep, and that's what they're doing. I mean, they're leaving this guy right here, whoever that is, they're leaving him wide open.
That's Nick Lincoln, does a nice job.
And he did a good job there of getting the ball and going to the basket and not settling for the outside shot.
Absolutely. Now if they can just get Jasper to turn it over a little bit, that's just too easy. It's too easy to get the ball in there. Dubois, when Jasper rotates that ball, their zone is starting to spread out, and he just does such a great job of finding the open spot.
Well, and the thing they've got, with Harmon's obviously actually bigger, or obviously bigger than anybody else out there, and it's almost to the point where I think Dubois is going to have to almost front the post and try to take away that and make him throw the lob pass where the guy on the backside. If you're going to play that zone, you can do that. Front the low post, the backside guy can take the lob away. But, you know, they got to quit letting the ball get inside so easy like they've been doing.
Well, it looks like that Freeman's going to put the ball into Bauer's hands, see if he can get something going from the top. But that's all they're doing. They just pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. And they're making Dubois settle.
Yeah, and you know, the thing you have to do, and it's very hard to teach to high school age kids, is you have to be patient. You know, I mean, Dubois is down 9. They're not going to make that up in one shot. You know, you got to be patient. You got to be patient and work it and get a good shot, you know. And sometimes young kids like that, they get too excited.
Well, I'm not so sure that whistle would have happened if that wouldn't have been right in front of the Northeast Dubois fan section, because it looked like there was a couple of them right before that they let go, and as the fans stood up and started yelling, all of a sudden the whistle happened.
Uh-huh.
Northeast Dubois, to get back really into this game, because even though it's a 9-point game, it just doesn't feel. It just feels like Jasper's in control right now.
It does, but like you said, it's only 9 points, and I mean 9 points in a high school basketball game in a instant, it can be, you know, a 3-pointer, a turnover, and another 3-pointer, and you know, next thing you know, they're right back in the game. But Dubois has got to do a better job of shooting free throws. You know, I'm thinking that, you know, they've made 1 out of probably about 5 or 6.
Well, they've got 4 or 5 games this year to where they're shooting in the low 60s as a high point.
Yeah.
You know, you just can't have that.
No, you're right.
If you're trying to pull the upset, one thing a coach at any level will tell you is you got to cash in on your free ones. Nice steal by Nick Lakin.
Berger's got to do a better job of protecting the ball right there, but so they're Dubois is aggressive by taking the ball to the bucket, but they're not getting quality shots. There's a good follow-up by Hof.
Well, they're attacking the basket, but when they're going up, they're not going into contact. They're going around contact. Jasper's going right through it.
Yeah, you're right.
Ziegler's hot.
Yep.
I don't know what Jasper's thinking by letting him run around. And then he causes, you know, Berger to turn the ball over down on the far sideline. Ziegler is one guy that every year that I've seen him, he's usually somewhere around 10, 12 points, but he can get on these streaks.
I don't know why they took him out right here. I mean, he's their hottest shooter, and
well, he's their offense.
Yeah, I don't know why you want to take him out right here, but unless you're going to just go for one shot, but I don't think you'd do that either.
Reese is going right up in.
You know, he's going into that contact, and that's tough. I mean,
yeah, I don't quite understand. He's going to have to start to realize that these 8 to 10 foot pull-up jumpers could be his best friend.
Yeah.
But if Northeast Dubois, if Bauer does not get on track, they've got no shot.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough for you know, Ziegler to keep shooting the way he is and to keep him in the game. But, you know, they hit a 3 here, and they're right in the game. So,
well, looks like they're just going to plan it.
Yeah,
you know, I was kind of hoping when Bauer got fouled earlier, you know, was not seeing the ball go through the basket. Sometimes just getting to the charity stripe and seeing a couple go through is really a positive thing. But they've done a real nice job on him. I got to give him that.
From Jasper's standpoint here, you know, it's key that you don't give up an open look here.
Well, it's also, in my opinion, defensive. Nice drive.
Somebody's got to step up and take a charge right there.
You are correct.
Count.
Berger, what a shot! As time expires here at halftime.
Yeah, they counted it for 3, so that was quite a flurry to end the quarter. You know, Dubois come down and scored with about 3 seconds to go, and you're thinking, this is going to be closer than you thought now, and then Jasper gets the last second shot and hits it. So.
They get it inbound so easy in the outlet pass. You know, they did a nice job of moving it up, and any momentum that Dubois thought that they had going in, you know, has just the wind's been taken out of their sail.
Yeah.
But anyways, we are at halftime. It is Jasper 30, Northeast Dubois 21. We are going to take a break here. We'll be back here in a moment on Channel 18 WJTS. Welcome everybody back to Jasper High School Gymnasium, where the Jasper Wildcats have hung 30 points up on the Northeast Dubois Jeeps, while the Jeeps have filled in their part of 21 points. So it's really felt through the course of the first half, Jason, that the game has never been out of the home team's control.
Yeah, I think, you know, they're being able to do what they do and feel comfortable doing, and that's the defensive pressure. And they're able to get up and down the floor and try to score in transition some. So, you know, I think they're comfortable right now. They're comfortable doing what they're used to doing. And in basketball, that's the big thing is, you know, you have to try to take the other team out of their comfort zone, try to make them do something that they don't want to.
Yeah. Tonight was homecoming, and congratulations to Queens Sarah Overmeyer and King Carson Park. The other candidates for the senior class was Ben Hoaxong, son of Jeff and Marla Hoaxong. And then Annie Danto is the daughter of Amy and Michael Danto. And of course, Park, of course, of Stephanie and Michael Park. Sarah Overmeyer, the daughter of Tim and Brenda. Isabel Blasey, the daughter of Darla and Scott Blasey, and Daniel Ubelar, the son of Amy and Brian Ubelar. So congratulations to the seniors. I know it's always been a treat over the years for these young men and women to get on the Queen's court. So congratulations to them, and congratulations to Carson Park, and to I lost it right there, Sarah Overmeyer.
Yeah, and a little scoring here in the first half. Dubois was led in scoring by Ethan Ziegler with 11 points. Let's see here. Nick Leakins got 6. Ty Raker 1. Logan Marrier 3. Jasper's led in scoring by Quentin Harmon with 7 and Jackson Cabrick with 7. Caleb Berger's got 5. Reese Day's got 5. Goodhue, Hof, and Stom each chipped in 2. So.
Well, we're getting back at it. Cabrick back up, over to Berger, down to Cabrick inside. Nice pass, good kick out. You just got to love it, Jason.
Yeah, they did a good job there of moving the ball. You know, again, it was the inside-outside game, so they did a good job. They're trying to get the ball to Reese and
Logan Mariner did a nice job of
stepping
in front,
and there's a situation where, you know, Carter's got to be able to corral that ball and get it under control. I mean, you did the hard part. You got the steal, but then you turn around and give it right back. So,
yeah, that you definitely the only way Dubois is going to do anything here is possession by possession, and there's a turnover.
Another bad turnover. I mean, that was just bad because they didn't. Really, in my opinion, it wasn't forced. I mean, they just made a bad pass.
Well, Jasper's fundamentally strong, but on turnovers like that, the ball had no chance. And Jasper's, you know, one and done, Northeast Dubois.
And here's where Jasper's got to be, you know,
Yeah, it looked like it was tapped out from the backside, but they're going to say it's off the white team, and Dubois is going to bring it back down. But Jasper's, you know, right off the bat's taking their lead up to 14 points.
Yeah, and that's something that Dubois has got to be careful with. You know, is that they don't let early in the half here, they don't let it get too far out away from them.
Well, Cabrick, if he stays glued, I really think that they're going to try to let Ziegler, you know, not concentrate a great deal. I think their game plan is going to be the strength throughout. You know, you put Stom on Bauer and then send help from the backside.
Yeah, and they in the first half they had they had Burger Garden Ziegler, and now here in the second half they've made a switch. They put Kabrick on. Now Staum picks up his third foul, so he's going to sit the rest of the quarter. So, you know, that's you know, again, like we talked there in the first half, you know, that you got to be very careful in that situation. You know, you got to learn to play defense.
And now they got another one.
I don't know what they got here. Foul on Ernie, I believe.
Well, the thing about it, though, is even though you don't like to see somebody like Carter Staum, there's Bauer, finally.
Yeah.
You don't like to see him get in foul trouble, but when you got a 14-point lead, you know, it's not as devastating.
It's not, but, you know, from the standpoint that, you know, you want to be able to keep your starters out there, and you want to be able to continue to play the way you've been playing, you know. But, you know, basketball's a team game, so somebody else has to step up and do the job now. So
nice rebound. Bauer's pushing up. He's trying to get them before they can get set.
And that's his forte. You know, I mean, he loves to run, loves to get the ball down the floor like that. So
yeah, and Coach Gable has seen enough, so he's going to hit a quick 30-second timeout. So we'll take a quick break here with Jasper up 35-25 over the Northeast Dubois Jeeps. You're watching Cat Basketball here on WJTS. Welcome back to Jasper High School Gymnasium. We are just slightly into the third quarter. Jasper's up 35-25. Dubois is on a little 4-0 run right here, causing Gable to call a timeout. So let's see if Jasper working the ball, if they can go back to what they did in the first and try to get the ball into Harmon. There's Bauer again. And it's worth noting, if that goes in.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say that. Reese has got 4 points. You know, he needs another 2-point basket. He'll tie the school record.
He'll actually go over it. He told me before the game he was 5 down.
5, okay. I thought it was 6, so that's my mistake.
That's the impression I got into it, so it was nice that I ran into him before the game.
So it's 5. So the next basket he hits, he'll go over, which.
Nice by Nick Lincoln. You know, I think Northeast Dubois is starting to get to the point right now, and we'll see how the rest of this quarter plays out, but it's just, hey, let's just let the ball fly and see what happens. Nice cut by Berger.
Yeah, that's a nice take and get to the bucket there. Caleb, like I said, Caleb's, you know, he's for no bigger than what he is. He's strong and somehow gets that shot off in the inside. I don't know how he does it, but he does.
Yeah, that does amazing. You know, savvy is a really nice thing to have when you're playing a game of basketball.
There's Ziegler for 3 again.
Kabrick was turned his head, and you give Ziegler a second, he'll let it fly.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Dubois is going to make a game out of this yet.
Yeah, they are, because Jasper's sloppy with the basketball. They're not doing what they need to do to take care of it.
And there's Reese Bauer, 1,151 points. That puts him as the all-time lead for Northeast Dubois. Terry Friedman calls a timeout, and I'm sure that's for a little recognition.
Yeah, I would say so.
You know, I'd be quite honest with you though, when things like that happen and some kid gets that, referees, you know, I know they have their rules, but you know, we're talking high school basketball here. So there's the man himself.
Yep.
1,151 points.
You know, and that's quite an honor, you know, to be able to do that. You know, there's been a lot of good basketball players coming through school up there at Dubois, you know. I was friends with a lot of them, you know, around my era, and there were some very good ones before that time, and you know, so that's quite an honor to
absolutely
to be able to say that you're the all-time leading scorer for, I guess it's the boys, because I seen
Correct.
somewhere where there's a girl that has
a Merkel 1,700.
1,700. Yeah. So I don't think he can catch that.
Boy, he'd have to have some big games.
Yeah, he would. Yeah, he would.
He'd have to have Phil Maringer type games.
Yeah. But you know, like I said, I don't want to make light of that, because that's a great honor and a great prestigious thing to be able to say that you're the leading scorer, you know, at any school. It doesn't matter what school it is. So that's quite an accomplishment, and it couldn't come for a better kid. Reese is an outstanding young man. You know, he's put in a lot of work and well deserving of that honor.
Yeah, absolutely. Good was never good enough for Reese, and that's what made him separate himself from others. That's just, you can't fade away. If you're 6'6", you cannot fade away.
No, he's got to be more aggressive with that and take that to the hole.
Well, Dubois got it down to 5 points.
Yeah, you know, we were just sitting there talking how it was, you know, it was borderline of being able to possibly get away from him.
Look at that, Bauer again. That young man will not be denied here in the second half.
Yeah, he's got 8 points already in the second half after having none in the first.
Well, he's essentially taken the attitudes that you and I are very familiar with back in the day when we walked the halls here at Jasper High School. And that is, I don't care what you throw at me. I don't care what sport it's in. You're going to have to raise your game even to get on my level, and that's what he's doing right now.
Yeah.
He's separating himself.
Yep, there's no doubt. And now somebody from Jasper's got to turn around and step up. Dubois falls back into a 2-3 zone now, so, you know, now they're going to force Jasper to shoot from the outside, and you know, that's been our Achilles heel for a big part of this season so far. So,
well, Coach Friedman really has no other option than to do that. You know, man-to-man, there's just so many mismatches.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, now they're a little bit Harmon's out of the game, so I mean Dubois is a little bit better matched up now. You know, matter of fact, Dubois might be the taller of the two teams out there right now. So.
Yeah, you got Logan Maringer that's sitting out there at 6'5", and then you got Kabrick coming in, and you know he's not real short, but he's just more of your brain trust out there right now.
Yeah, I mean the biggest guy Jasper's probably got on the floor is Elliot Hof, and I don't even know what they got him listed at, but.
There's Lane Canese getting high up for it. Here comes Bauer. Nice kick out. That's a big shot. If you'd asked me at the start of half, I wouldn't have believed it, but Jasper has just went down by 1 point. And now Ziegler. Well, Coach Gable's pacing has really started to pick up here in the second half.
Yeah, there's no doubt, you know, and again, it you know, the thing that has got them going is you know, they're falling back into that zone defense, and Jasper's not shooting the ball again. So, you know, here we go. It's the same thing, deja vu again. You know, not shooting and the turnover. So
Bauer again. He is just tearing Jasper up in this second half. Coach Gable calls another timeout. Well, my friends, the tables have turned. Northeast Dubois takes in with just under 2 minutes to go into the third quarter. They will go into this timeout up 3 points, 40-37. We are playing Jasper basketball here on WJTS. Welcome back to Jasper High School Gymnasium, where Jasper finds himself 3 points short of the Northeast Dubois Jeeps. Dubois has really just actually controlled it. You know, I've made the comment at halftime that it never felt like Dubois got out of, or Jasper was out of control of this game. It does feel that way for me now. And they're bringing Harmon back in. We'll see if they start working in the middle.
Right now, all it comes down to is Dubois wants it worse than what Jasper does. You know, there's a shot by Kabrick that doesn't draw anything, and you know that's what, you know, right now that's the way it's going. There's still plenty of time left in the ball game, you know, for Jasper to you know, Dubois showed how fast you can come back from being down 10 or 11 points, whatever it was. You know, so, you know, Jasper's just got to right the ship and figure out what they got to do on offense to score.
Well, they've put Kabrick back on Bauer, trying to get a little bit more length on him.
Yeah.
And they're putting Berger up on the point up against Nick Lincoln. And we'll kind of see how that plays out. That's a nice drive. That is a nice drive right there. That's a tough call to go against the blue, but I got to tell you, I think I kind of agree with it.
Yeah, he was moving there a little bit. The other thing, too, I think he could have done was if he'd have fell over and had a little bit better acting with it, he might have got the call. But, you know, he kind of just fell or stumbled backwards. He didn't really do anything. So,
yeah, you and I both know on any level of basketball these days, professional, college, you have to sell it.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
Well, Jasper's finally got some points rolling up. They're going through a little bit of a drought. Now they're going to try to put a little pressure on the ball, see what happens. But when you've got Nick Lincoln, Ethan Ziegler, and Reese Bauer handling the ball and doing what they're supposed to be doing, it could be a little tough for Jasper to get some turnovers. You can't do that. Two guys standing on top of each other. This is one thing that Reese Bauer has really gotten a lot better at is, I'll hold the ball and you're going to have to do me. And as they look up and they see the clock starting to get down to 8 or 9 seconds, defense should come flying out at him. Don't let him dictate. And they did. All right, that's the end of the third quarter. The Northeast Dubois Jeeps will be taking a 3-point lead going into the fourth quarter. Jasper 39, Northeast Dubois 42. You're watching Cat Basketball here on WJTS. Jasper High School Gymnasium, where we start the fourth quarter, and boy, has this crowd really gotten raucous in here. Jeeps have outscored, and you had down there what, Jason?
Dubois outscored Jasper in that third quarter 21-8.
Wow,
so
that's absolutely amazing. But we're going to see what can go on. Can Jasper, with all their senior leadership, can they lock it down, or the seniors from the blue, are they going to do it? So this could be interesting.
It's going to be a good last 8 minutes of the game. So again, it's just going to come down to who executes the best.
Well, that's one thing you can't do. You can't go into Harmon weak. He will send it back every time.
Jasper's got to move the ball, play inside, outside, just like that. That's not a bad shot.
No, it's not.
Reese is a good shooter.
Nice pass. Boy, I tell you what, when you play Bauer, if you just play the shot, you are making a big, big mistake. Nice take.
And see, that there again, that's kind of what they did at Forest Park, like we talked about earlier. The offense scores, and then they don't get back on defense, and Jasper's been able to get the ball down the floor and put up a good shot.
That will just absolutely drive a coach insane.
Yeah.
Nice pass again. Lane Canese is having his way on the inside. Nice job of protecting the ball with the rim and dropping one in with the left hand.
Dubois is doing a good job of sharing the ball. I mean, nobody's trying to take it over and do it all by themselves.
Well, and you had mentioned to me earlier, one of Jasper's Achilles heel is the ability to go cold at the snap of a finger.
And they kind of did, here in the third quarter, or there in the third quarter, and that's what they got to be careful of.
Well, we were talking about Bauer getting the lead there, but I've got him marked down as you had corrected me with 11 points, and then he starts off the fourth quarter with a beautiful assist. So Bauer's starting to really make his presence felt here. And now they just grabbed him, and if they're going into, nope, keep it out of bounds. But in the first half, it seemed like when Bauer had the ball that they were sending 2 or 3 guys at it. It doesn't seem like that's the same game plan.
Yeah, I don't know. It's changed a little bit, but, there's Stom picks up his 4th foul, so now he's going to set some more. So.
Well, and Northeast Dubois just, let's face it, they're just taking it to Jasper right now.
Well, and that's what, I said earlier, it comes down to the fourth quarter as to who wants it the worst, and the way it looks right now, Dubois does. Jasper's they're back on their heels, and they're not being the aggressor, the attacker. So,
my friend, I couldn't agree with you anymore. But that right there, you get an opportunity to build your lead from the charity stripe. And, they were horrible in the first half, and we've got to knock those down in order for Dubois to, continue this up. And they come up empty.
You missed 2 free throws there. That's a chance to take a 5-point lead up to a 7. you know, and now Jasper comes down and Hope got the bucket and looks like a foul on somebody. I don't know who, but.
Well, it looked to me like they took Lane Canese and they said he was grabbing him, trying to pull him out. I don't really see where that came into play, but, you know, the stripes are the ones with the whistles.
Yeah. That's a big bucket for Elliott because Elliott's really struggled shooting free throws this year. So that was nice to see him hit a free throw. But
well, it's imperative that Dubois get a bucket here. I mean, there's still some, you know, good amount of time left, but you start to feel that the momentum's starting to go back towards the home team.
Yeah, and like you said, you know, there's a lot of time left. You know, 8 minutes in a high school game is an eternity.
Yes, it is. And now a little cheapy hand check. That's the other thing as far as the Zebras go that really drives me crazy is in the first part of the game, you know, it seems like unless you're clubbing somebody, they're letting it go. And then you get later in the game,
and then they call that. You know, I agree with you 100% on that. It's
well,
like,
the last one they called on your son out there,
yeah,
it was not as bad as some of the ones he got away with in the first half.
No, you're exactly right.
That's a big shot. It was a good open look.
It was a good shot. I mean, you know, those are the ones you just got to be able to knock them down. There was a good look by Cabrick. Berger did a nice job of cutting. Cabrick seen him, and they were able to finish it. So,
well, we're all tied up here at, you know, 5:08 mark and 46-46. You know, ever since that timeout, Reese Bauer has been kind of non-existent, so he's going to have to get back to his bully attitude and get some more points. I think Ziegler missed him on the post there.
Yeah, he did a little bit, I think. You know, Reese has got Isaac Day on him, who's a sophomore, but, you know, Reese has got some size on him, but Isaac's a strong little individual. And
boy, Ziegler is just on fire.
Yeah, he can't miss.
Woo! The home crowd is not going to be happy with that call. Ziegler tried to reach in for the ball. Cabrick brought it over the top, and he landed. And at first I thought the whistle was a foul on Ziegler, but they say Cabrick carried the ball. So regardless of what we think, Northeast Dubois bring the ball up.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what we think or how we see things up here.
It's kind of like talking to the wife, you know, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, Day is just working his tail off, chasing Bauer around this floor. But if I'm Northeast Dubois, you know, other than Bauer getting really hot and other guys hitting some timely shots, just work the ball and let them turn their head and forget about Ziegler. He is just tearing them up. Now another ticky-tack. Now, it's always been my contention that if you're going to call a foul like that at the top, if you're not impeding progress, let it go.
Yeah, I mean, that absolutely had no effect on the game whatsoever right there.
No, and you know, yes, that did go against Jasper, but I've seen several of them go against, you know, the Jeeps this year.
Yeah.
I just don't understand. If you call all of those, we'll be here for 6.5 weeks.
Yeah.
But I mean, once again,
missed free throws. You know, that's 3 in a row that I know of, you know, so.
Well, they're sitting down right now in the 10 to 20% mark for the game.
I don't know what it is, but it's not very good. I know.
Well, at one point they were 1 for 6 in the first half.
Yeah.
And it didn't get much better from there.
Not a lot.
But if they come up on the short end of the stick tonight, they're going to shoot themselves. Nice overplay by Logan Maringer. And they'll give it back to Jasper. Referee asking a little bit of help there, and baseline referee Terry Freeman, of course, doesn't agree with it. If he did, I would be a little concerned.
Yeah.
Well, looks like Jasper's going to be taking the ball down out here and probably put Cabrick up around the R. let him bring it in. I have no idea what this discussion's about.
I think they're trying to determine where the ball goes, where they take the ball out of bounds, because it depends where they called the ball out of bounds as to whether it's on the side or whether it's on the baseline. And I think that's what they were trying to iron out and trying to get straight. But
well, Dubois is, been pretty strong, determined to be in this zone. It's a nice drive. Now that right there, you had Logan Mariner going to the top. You had the drive coming on the bottom. I would just call the game a little bit different. I'm not saying it's right, but it would be a little different.
It isn't an easy job. It's like any other sport. When you have to officiate them, it's not easy.
No.
Because no matter every call you make, somebody's not happy with it. If you make that call there, the Dubois people aren't happy. If they don't make it, the Jasper people aren't happy. So it's like you just got to try to do what you feel is fair and the best, and go from there.
Well, Berger did what Northeast Dubois has been struggling to do, and that's put two of them in from the stripe. Bauer just took a shot to the nose, no call. That's a rush shot. Rush shot, should have never went up.
Yeah, that's not with a guy on him like that. I mean, he had defense right there on him, so.
All right.
Jasper's going to take a full timeout here.
We are at the 2:46 mark left in this game. It is 49 for Northeast Dubois, 48 for Jasper. You are watching Wildcat basketball here on WJTS. Welcome back, everybody, to Jasper High School Gymnasium. Along with Jeremy Marcos on the video, Jason Stom sitting to my left. I am Bob Welp. We are in for a barn burner. We got 2 minutes, 48 seconds left. Jasper will be inbounding the ball down one.
It comes down now, Bob, to execution. Who's going to execute the best, and get good shots. Dubois come back out of the timeout in a man-to-man.
Well, I think Ziegler got away with one a little bit there. Stom's looking around, but with him having 4 fouls, he's got to be careful on both ends of the floor.
There's no doubt that you got to watch what you do right there. You want to play aggressive and play hard, but you got to play smart and know that you've got 4 fouls.
Yeah, Bauer's going to have to step it up like he did in that third quarter, and he's essentially going to have to take the game over. That's a nice look, and ball was a little low to a 6'5" post. Goodness gracious, you cannot let that go. Jasper comes away with it, though.
They got lucky there.
Nice pass.
Berger did a nice job of penetrating and found Hof, and Hof did a nice job of putting it up off the square and in for 2.
Yep, looks like Terry Friedman says seen enough. Jasper hits the bucket, takes a 1-point lead. We've got 1:43 left here. You are watching Wildcat basketball on WJTS. Welcome back to Jasper High School Gymnasium, where the host Jasper Wildcats have dropped a half-century mark on the Northeast Dubois Jeeps, but the Jeeps are not far behind. They are 1 point behind that mark. Reese Bauer has become Northeast Dubois' all-time leading scorer tonight, and Jeeps are looking for a whole lot more excitement with 1:40 left in the fourth quarter with Ziegler bringing the ball up. I'm sure Coach Gable, there's Bauer again. Nice pass. Now, I don't understand it. There's a lot of forearm there. They called the ticky-tack out here on the wing and let that go through, but give credit to Berger for not giving up on that play.
I don't know how the guy at half court or beyond made the call down underneath the basket.
Well, that's the second time we've seen it tonight where the far official makes it, but
I don't know. That's a
Lane Canisa's got to have these for Northeast Dubois. There you go. Yeah, I'm with you, Jason. That just absolutely.
I mean, there was a scramble and a fight and everything else for it, and then they call that, and it's like, really?
Well, Canice comes up 1 for 2. That knots it up at 50 apiece. We are at the 120 mark. Jasper with the ball. Now, do you take the first easy thing? Looks like Gable's going to go ahead and call timeout. 1:16 left. Jasper 50, Northeast Dubois 50. You are watching Wildcat basketball here on Channel 18 WJTS, where the Jasper Wildcats and the Northeast Dubois Jeeps are knotted up at 15. I see a big number 4 next to the period, and 1 minute and 16 seconds left. Jasper will have the ball. Jason, do you take? I know you will take a layup, but do you eat the clock, or what do you do?
Well, I think a lot of it's going to depend on what kind of defense Dubois comes out in.
Well, if you ask me, and Terry sometimes will run a man-to-man. Looks like we may have a little substitution problem, or maybe some
blood on the floor. I think maybe.
But sometimes Terry Friedman will bring out and show you in a man-to-man look, and when they throw the ball on the back side of the court and they bring it up, he'll drop it back into that zone, and the zone's been fairly effective. You know, Jasper here within the last couple of minutes has done a nice job of dissecting it. So.
Yeah, and I think, you know, kind of what they're going to look for here is to see how, you know, you're asking, do you hold it for the last shot? And I think a lot of it has to do with whether or not Dubois comes out in a zone or a man-to-man. And I think what we're waiting on here is I think Stom's got a bloody mouth or something and must have got blood on the floor. So they're cleaning it up because he's over here by the bench holding the towel on it.
And I could just hear it later. Dad, I need some Dairy Queen. Dad, I need some this. Dad, I need some that. So you're going to have to break open the wallet, I believe.
I'm kind of surprised that they don't make him come out of the game, to be honest. But I guess with it being in your mouth, it's a little bit different than bleeding out.
Yeah, so, that's true. And I tell you, he especially, well, the referee's looking at him right now.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's doing a good job of hiding it. But if Jasper doesn't get a score, I mean, that's definitely one guy right there that you want on the floor with his defensive prowess.
Yeah, and Jasper's just got to take care of the basketball.
Nice job of Lane Canice getting down to the baseline to give a little help. I think that's going to be Coach Gable's little plan there. And if they give you a layup, take it. If not, just get the ball back out.
Yeah, I think, at this point now, they'll probably run it down for a little bit, and then when they get down to a comfortable position, they'll probably call a timeout and see what happens.
Well, that was a nice drive. Stom went hard.
Yeah, and there's a foul or a call that could have went either way again. It could have been a charge or,
Yeah, it looks like.
A lot of times in that situation, the referees, when it gets to this point in the game, they kind of let the action play out, They don't want to be the center of the attention. And that's kind of what that was. Was it a charge? Could have been. Was it a blocking? Could have been. But they just kind of let it play. They made no call. And a lot of times a no call sometimes is better than a call either way. So Jasper was fortunate enough the ball went in the bucket. But, Dubois has got the last shot or the opportunity to get the last shot here. You can go for 2 for the tie, or you can go for the win with a 3.
Well, that's I was just thinking that myself, and I'll tell you one thing that they can't do, Jason. They cannot forget about number 4, Ethan Ziegler.
No, and that's if I'm Friedman right now, if I'm Coach Friedman in that huddle, I'm telling Ziegler, you spot up somewhere and let Bauer penetrate, and if they help off, kick it to Ziegler for the 3. I mean, he's got 4 of them tonight, I think, probably.
Oh, he has been lighting it up. He's also got Nick Lincoln, who shoots, probably 25, 28%. You got Lane Canice that can hit him out there, and then Maringer hit one earlier. So at 5 positions, you've got 3-point shooters.
And the other thing is, what do you do? Do you go for the 3, or do you go for the tie?
I say this right now: if you get a layup, that's fine. Maybe try to get an and one.
There's a kick.
But absolutely, by chance, you try to end the game.
Yeah.
It's
you're on the road. A lot
absolutely.
of coaches play that way. If you go for the win on the road and the tie at home.
In football, do you go for 1? Do you go for 2? So
yeah, it's the same thing.
Well, the ball's back in Bauer's hands. Looks like the Jeeps are going to rest on him. Nice rotation. Gets a bump. No bucket. No foul. You got a foul. You got a foul. That was a heck of a rebound by Harmon right there.
It was, but, you know, here's the thing that, you know, I try to coach my young guys that I coach is, and Quentin did, don't get me wrong here, but you got to get rid of that ball. You move that ball enough right there, that clock runs out, and Dubois can't do anything about it.
That's a great point.
You know, instead of standing there holding it like he did, but here Jasper ain't even in the bonus. So we're not even going to shoot free throws.
Yeah, it's you get a steal or you got a slap, you know, and that's 3 fouls, but they could eat up 5.5 seconds easily. Turnover. Oh, I think that's the right call though.
I think it was. He almost pointed the other way, but he wasn't. I think he got it right. I mean, that's as far from us as what they could possibly be, so I can't tell, but.
Well, the officials haven't minded making calls completely on the other side, so, you know, we could throw our 2 cents in.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. We got a breakaway. Well, they're going to send Cabrick up there.
No, they're still not going to be at the line. That's only number 6.
Yeah,
you just got to. But now you got to throw it to this end of the court.
Yeah, but like we talked earlier, when they had 3 fouls to give, you know, yeah, it's great you haven't put Jasper in the bonus, but with 5.5 seconds, you'll eat that up in you know, snap of a finger.
Here's the situation too, where is, you know, from Dubois' standpoint, do you foul before you even let them get the ball inbounds? Because they get the ball inbounds, the game's over.
The only problem with that is, and I've seen it quite a bit in college basketball this year, you see a jersey stretch out and they put the old cross up as an intentional foul.
Yeah,
but
I don't think they would do that.
I'm with you.
In this situation, but I throw the ball around here in the corner to Cabrick and the game's over.
Yeah.
Don't throw it that way. See, they're holding on to Cabrick, but yeah, there.
Now, that I don't understand. There was 1.2 seconds. As soon as Cabrick touched the ball, he got fouled, and all that time ran off.
Yeah, and you know, it. That's not an easy thing to do, to run the clock, you know, as to when to start it and when and stopping it. You know, I mean, if you've ever done that with that button, you know, to turn it on and turn it off.
Oh, yeah.
It takes so much time just to do that.
Yeah.
You know, and did excess come off? Yeah, probably. But, you know, I don't know how much you put back on. Do you put 0.5? Do you put 0.6? You know, what was it when it started? 1 point what?
There was 1.2 on 1.5. I'm sorry.
1.5. So.
Well, they put 0.6 and.
That's half the time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think from Dubois' standpoint you can't ask for more than that, because they did catch it and, you know, make a little bit of a move. So.
Well, we're going to keep it right here with 0.6 seconds. So essentially. With the 1-and-1 going on, with Terry blowing that timeout right there, you know, he felt like he's going to set up what they probably did against Paoli, where Bauer threw in the 3-quarter shot.
Yeah, you know, and that was an unbelievable thing that took place there. I saw a video of it, you know, and the thing with this is a little bit different because it's off of a missed free throw.
Well, that's true, and I think there was a little bit more time up there. By what they always say in basketball, if you were under 0.7, you know, it's
yeah, and I don't take anything away from Reese's shot that he made up there. It's an incredible shot, but to catch the ball like he did and take a step or two, whatever it was, to throw it, I'm not sure you can do that in that amount of time.
I would have to agree with you, but there's a whole lot of blue and white fans over there that are disagreeing with me.
I agree, and like I said, I don't want to take anything away from it because it was an unbelievable experience. So, and the thing we haven't talked about is it's all a moot point if Jackson just sits up here and hits both free throws.
Absolutely, and he looks awful smooth.
Then it doesn't matter. So.
Yep.
Now you just let them go.
Yep, there it is. Well, he did catch some rims. Final score, Jasper 54, Northeast Dubois 50. We will be back with some from statistics from this battle. You are watching Wildcat basketball here on WJTS. To Jasper High School Gymnasium, you know, Jasper coming out with a 54-50 lead or win tonight. And I also got to say that if you would ask me at that halftime the way the Northeast Dubois Jeeps looked in that first half and the control that Jasper had, I would have never bought this end of the game. But I want to give credit to the boys up on the hill, Northeast Dubois. Bauer came out in that third quarter, lit them up for 11. They took Kabrick back off Ziegler, put him back on Bauer. You had Stom, who had 4 fouls, so you really couldn't throw him out there. But, you know, for a team like Northeast Dubois to come out, and especially with a lot of those guys playing the whole entire game, that was a heck of a show they put on in that second half, Jason.
They did. You know, Dubois come out and played really well the second half. You know, obviously they had to, or it wouldn't have been near the game that it was. So, you know, I think Dubois can walk out of here with their head hung high. You know, they came in and they competed, they battled, and that, you know, as a coach, that's all you can ask for. And I think Coach Friedman, obviously he's a little disappointed that he didn't get the win, but, you know, in the same token, he's got to be pleased with, you know, some of the aspects of some of the things that they did.
Well, you and I both know that the frustration of a coach at any level, whether it be 6th, 7th, and 8th or up here in high school, is when your kids aren't given that effort that you know they can give, and there's nothing you can do because you can't coach effort. But you have some stats there. Why don't you tell us what the line is?
Yeah, I do. Ziegler led Dubois in scoring with 17. Leakin had 13. Reese Bauer had 11. And like we said, you know, he had them all in the third quarter. You know, he had an outstanding third quarter. Knies ended up with 5, Maringer 3, Riker 1. For Jasper, they were led in scoring, tie with Kabrick with 11, Berger with 11. Quentin Harmon had 7 in the first half and didn't score in the second half. Hof had 7, Stom had 9, Reese Day had 5, Goodhue 2, and Isaac Day had 2. So that totals up to 54 for Jasper, 50 for Dubois. You know, again, it was you know, these are the kind of games, this is high school basketball here. You know, Friday night, this is what you live for. These are fun games to watch. And, you know, and the thing with us is we've had these for like the whole month of January. You know, we've had games like this. We had this with Southridge. We had this with Washington. We had it with Forest Park. We've had these outstanding, you know, you've had good crowds. You've had good basketball games. And it's just been a lot of fun to watch them. And tonight didn't let us down.
Well, it's not going to get any easier for
no, it's not
Northeast Dubois because, you know, they've got to play their sectional opponent, Wood Memorial, and they're going to be at their gym. And they've got Bar Reeve coming up, North Davies coming up, Lagodi coming up. I mean, it's going to be difficult for them. But I tell you what, that schedule that Jasper has rolling up.
Oh, boy. Yeah. And
Castle coming up and all those guys.
And that starts tomorrow night. You know, we go to New Albany. And, you know, New Albany's notoriously one of the top teams in Class 4A in the state of Indiana year in and year out. Obviously, you know, they're down a little bit once Romeo got out of there, but, you know, they've got some other kids up there. Juju Hunter is an outstanding player. They've got a Bivens kid that's only, I believe he might be a sophomore this year. You know, so they've got some outstanding athletes. That's going to be a really, really tough game, you know, for Jasper to go on the road up there to have to compete and play. But, you know, that's one of those games where you just go up there and you play as hard as you can and hope for the best. You know, and like you said, for the rest of the schedule, you know, we've got North Davies coming up, we've got Bar Reeve coming up, we've got Castle. You know, it's not going to get any easier. So, but, you know, and from a coaching standpoint, that's what you want. This time of the year, you want games that are going to challenge you and to do those type of things for you. So I think that's what, you know, we'll have.
Yeah, it definitely is going to be interesting. I think Jasper's season right now, you know, now they're sitting on a 9-game winning streak. And I think you could find anybody in this gymnasium to be hard-pressed to tell you the last time Jasper went on a 9-game winning streak.
Yeah, it's been a while. I can't tell you when one was, Bob. So, you know.
Well, we are going to try to get a coach up here, any representative we can, and have Jason give them an interview. So we're going to take a quick break here, and we'll be back here on Channel 18 WJTS.
All right, well, we're back here with Coach Jason Albrand. Jasper comes out ahead tonight, 54-50. Coach, it was a hard-fought game.
Well, just as we really expected. I mean, anytime county schools get together, especially tonight when you got two teams that are playing good basketball, both teams came in tonight feeling they had a chance to win the game, and it was a typical Dubois game. It was physical, it was tough, it was hard to do anything offensively. They play extremely hard, they're well coached, so I feel very fortunate to come out here tonight on top.
Yeah, I agree. Bob and I talked, throughout the course of the game, and we talked about execution, and it was going to come down to execution, and and I thought for the most part that we did a very good job with guarding Bauer. I think he ended up with 11 points, but he had them all in the third quarter. Yeah,
in the third quarter, we go into halftime after Caleb hits that running three-point shot, and then. We're going to put that play in. We don't team to hit three-point shots in our offense. We'll just start shooting when we get for half court.
Shoot them on the run like that.
Yeah, we'll start working on that. But, we came out of halftime, and I don't think Reese had scored in the first half, and we had Carter on him, who's been drawing the tough assignment all year long, and he got some foul trouble, and then Jackson was on him, and Tanner Ernie was on him, and Isaac Day was on him, and so it was definitely a committee that was guarding him. And then doing so, Ziegler got hot. I think he had 3 threes at the halftime. Really kind of kept them in the game. And we came out in the second half and had a 5-0 run, got up 14. And, credit Dubois, they could have wilted and went back and said it's not our night. And I think we kind of lost a little bit of our focus. And we took our foot off the accelerator, I think, a little bit. And Dubois took advantage of it. And did they ever? It was layups. It was turnovers, Jasper, or a missed shot, and it was a layup on the other end, and they attacked the bucket and got right back in the game and got the lead, and just fortunate enough to come away in that fourth quarter. It was a back-and-forth game, and we had the ball, and we were gonna hold for one or take a layup. We had the ball, I think, with 45 or 50 seconds, and so Carter got in there, and still not sure how that ball went in. I'm not sure it got above the rim until it went over the rim.
Yeah, I don't know either. I think it hit the side.
I think it's
kind
that
of
top
rolled
spin
up.
He's been shooting with. He hit that thing and it climbed the rim, but
kind of rolled over.
He had a tough night. He got in foul trouble, but it's good to see him put that in. And then we were to go down there and get a couple stops defensively once again. And then Jackson came down and hit free throws. We had way too many turnovers. I think we had 17. We had us for 17 turnovers. Yeah. Which you're not going to beat good teams.
No.
That's why I say we're fortunate, I think, to come out tonight because it is a good team. We did shoot the ball well from them. We were 12, I think, with 13 from the foul line, and we out-rebounded them, I think, 2-1 almost. So those were the two stats that really kept us in the game and defensively getting some stops.
Yeah, and I think that, Bob and I kind of alluded to that a little bit. Bob and I weren't very good at keeping stats tonight.
I don't blame you.
We had to go get Walt's stats at halftime because we didn't even have the scoring. But you had two color men trying to do the whole thing, but
we won't tell Craig, but I guess you really did miss it.
Yeah, we really
did.
Okay. Yeah,
we won't tell him.
We struggled through it. We got through it, but it was. We did a good job, I thought, in the first half of controlling the tempo. I thought tonight we did a good job of kind of like what we did against Forest Park, where they scored and we got the ball down the floor and were able to score. Yeah. And I thought that was a key to being able to get to the lead that we had at halftime and the third quarter was, like you said, it was just kind of I don't know. There really wasn't.
I think it's human nature when you get up 14 to kind of relax a little bit, I guess, for lack of a better term. And you live and you learn, and thank God we didn't have to learn a lesson with a loss. But you get up 14, it's time to put your foot on somebody's throat and put them away, and you can't give away possession by turning the ball over and then going down there and letting them score easy shots, basically with one or no passes. I mean, it was, get a rebound, pitch ahead, and the seas parted, and their kids were aggressive, went to the hole, and took advantage of it. And I think part of that might have been we got in some foul trouble, so we were down, it was like 8-2 or 7-2 in fouls in the third quarter, and so we got, I think, a little less aggressive defensively because of the foul situation.
Right.
But
Bob and I kind of alluded to it a little bit on the air that if Dubois shoots probably 50% from the free throw line, that it's tie ball game, or they may have won.
Yeah,
they weren't very. I don't know what their stats were, but they weren't very good from the line tonight. And and Bob said that's kind of been an Achilles heel for them, throughout the year on different games. But so you look at it from their standpoint. They'll look back at that and think, if they would have done that, they would have had an opportunity. But so, well, Coach, it doesn't get any easier tomorrow night.
No, we knew this was going to be a tough stretch. We got playing Dubois tonight, and then heading on the road to New Albany tomorrow night. And New Albany, record-wise, is not typical New Albany. They were 8-5. I think they're 10 or 11-5 now. They had one of their 6'6" three-year starters missed the first 9 or 10 games, and he's gotten back, and they've kind of been playing some really good. I think they beat Rides by 23 last weekend. They played North tonight, so I'm anxious to see what that score is going to be.
Yeah.
And I think we got 5 games in 12 days. We got tonight and tomorrow night, and then we come back and play Thursday, Bar Eve, ranked team.
Yep.
Saturday afternoon we play Heritage Hills, another ranked team, and we come back Tuesday and play Mater Dei, who's been ranked all year. So it's a tough stretch. You got some weird Saturday afternoon, Tuesday night, not a lot of recovery time. We play Saturday. You can't practice Sunday, so you got one day or a couple days for Bar Eve, and then you got basically very little time for obviously an extremely talented, good Heritage Hills team. So the good thing is play good teams. They're going to expose weaknesses, and we're going to know. A couple weeks, 3 weeks before tournament here, what are some things that we're going to have to improve on? Obviously tonight, ball handling was and decision making was front and center. But yeah, it's a tough stretch, but we're looking forward to it. One thing about this team, we've not backed down all year. We've competed against everybody that we played, and so. We just got to learn how to play and execute a little bit better.
And that's kind of, we were talking a little bit about it, and that's the way you got to look at it tomorrow night. And even the New Albany game, the Heritage Hills game, and those, from the coaching standpoint, you guys are just looking to get better.
Absolutely.
If you win, great. But if you go out and play as good as you can, there's nights when you're just not as good as the other team that's on the floor. But if you play up to the caliber that you're capable of, then it's a little bit easier.
Yeah.
So that's what, you got to hope moving forward that
exactly.
We can do that. So, all right, well, we'll wrap it up here.
Well, I'd like to also, one more thing, is give Reese Bauer a shout out.
Yeah.
What a great career, and to, I was really impressed with his composure. A lot of times when you get a guy that's scoring 18, 20 a game and you get shut out in the first half, he never lost his composure. He handled himself great. He didn't start jacking up bad shots. He stayed with the game and was able to break through. But, congratulations to him and his family. That's a great honor, and he's a great player. And wish them, the Dubois team, the best of luck here the rest of this year and throughout the 1A sectional and tournament.
Yep, and I think, that from the looks of things tonight, they ought to be able to make a little run at
I would think so.
at their tournament goals. So.
And one more thing, another great crowd tonight. I mean,
was.
My goodness, Dubois brought a boatload of people, and we had homecoming here, and I thought our crowd was fantastic. It was as crowded as I've seen it since the Romeo came in here a couple years ago. So
yeah, I agree.
Hopefully we keep getting that support, and looking forward to finishing the year strong here.
All right. Well, thanks a lot,
thank
Coach.
You.
All right. Well, we'll wrap this up. Again, Jasper comes out on top tonight over Northeast Dubois, 54-50. Thank you for watching, and we'll be back on the air on Sunday with the game against New Albany that will take place tonight later on at New Albany. So for all the staff that worked the game tonight, I would bid you a farewell and thanks for watching.